Alright guys, how's it going? In this video we're going to be talking about Florian Wirtz. Now, some of you came along to my live stream this afternoon and guess what the major talking point, Florian Wirtz. So I did tell everyone I would make a video about this. That has been my intention all day, but I've been a little bit busy. Now, this is very important. So David Ornstein at The Athletic, he has touched on this, right? And published some words which I'm sure many of you have seen. And I'm not going to read out the entire article to you, but I will go over bullet points in a moment. But the bit that I want to focus on in the article is as follows. And first of all, let me just explain to you. You only need to listen to David Ornstein and Paul Joyce, right? Ornstein at The Athletic, Paul Joyce at the Times. You do not need to listen to any other journalists in the world, all right? I've been here nearly 3 decades now. I know all these journalists, right? I know they're connected to and who they're not connected to. And take it from me, right? They're the only two currently that you need to pay attention to. You might want to listen to Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah. Some people won't understand why we shout that on here, but we do. And, things do change, you know what I mean, from time to time. Some of these journals that you will see all the time whoring themselves out on YouTube channels and podcasts and the like. Back in the day, maybe, back in the late 90s or 2000s, maybe they did work for a decent publication when people used to buy newspapers, but they're not really relevant anymore, guys, all right? So the only two today is Ornstein and Joyce, and trust me, when I see either of them two comment about Liverpool Football Club, I'm on it straight away, and I analyse everything that they say, and I ask myself, why am I reading this? Why am I hearing this? Who does it benefit? Always ask yourself that. Why are they telling me that? And this is the bit I want to consider when you think about it. So if you go along that line of why am I hearing this? Who does this benefit? Who does this text benefit, right? This is what Ornstein said as part of his update on Wirtz, right? But it can be disclosed that head coach Arne left his holiday last week and flew to the south of France to meet Lyon attacking midfielder Rayan Cherki. Liverpool are committed to Wirtz, though. That doesn't stop them performing due diligence on other options and preparing for all outcomes. The Cherki discussions were scheduled before the Wirtz chase accelerated, and it is normal to proceed with such conversations while your priority signing is not complete and multiple plates are spinning. First of all, Cherki, if you follow my content or if you're on the members website or, if we have a conversation about Liverpool anyway, really, Cherki was the one that I thought we would go for in the... So if you'd have said to me, Wirtz or Cherki, then I would have said Cherki because he's an absolute bargain in comparison of fee. He's got FSG written all over him, future resale value. He's just the sort of player that Liverpool would go for under FSG, and he's an exceptionally good player. He's a really good player. Sign both of them. And now we're talking, right? FSG, now we're talking. But what I find a little bit strange about it is obviously that this information is being disclosed to us, right? And we're going to get to that in a minute. But basically, somebody wants you to know, right? Somebody wants you to know. You do not advertise who you are trying to sign unless there are exceptions to that rule. So if you think that... Florian Wirtz, for example, is definitely going to sign for Bayern Munich. Everyone expects him to go there. The industry expects him to go there. Well, we're going to throw our right in there. It don't make any difference because, we've got nothing to lose. Then it's all right to brief these journalists and get your message out there because you want to amplify it that Liverpool is an option. Get everyone talking about it. Plant the seed, get in the player's head to see if they can maybe change their mind. But when you're trying to sign a player that's maybe, I don't know, not such a big deal, where you've got a chance of signing them, then you don't want to alert your rivals to it. So I'm suspicious immediately because I think, what are they saying that for? Why are they telling us about Rayan Cherki? So what you have to think there is, who does this benefit? In my opinion, it benefits Liverpool Football Club, and that's the only person, not person, but you know what I mean, the only people organisation it can benefit or whatever. Because it then puts pressure on Bayer Leverkusen, in my opinion. However, it says, doesn't it, that discussions were scheduled before the Wirtz chase accelerated. That's what they want you to believe, right? So it's interesting that Arne left his holiday last week to go and have those conversations with with Rayan Cherki. Like, if this was scheduled before, would you not schedule it around your holidays and shit like that? It's definitely a game being played here, right? Maybe these talks were lined up with Cherki before, but why are we hearing about them now? Why were we not told about them before? Oh yeah, Arne Slot's going to go and have a word with Cherki next week. Do you know that? Like, do you know what I mean? This is definitely something that's being played out to us, and I will get to it more in a moment. Now, you know what my mind's like when I start getting thrown off all over. I know you sit there and you're fucking moaning and groaning. Get on with it. Get on. You try fucking sitting here remembering everything. Right, so normally no news is good news, right? But we have had some news, haven't we? Because everyone's frustrated. Why is it taking so long? The longer it goes on, it can't happen. Why is it taking so long? No news is good news. That's news, right? That is news. So that therefore means it's not good news, if you think about it. What I mean by that is normally you start to hear about these things if something's not going right. Yeah? Because if something's going right, you don't need to get any messages out via the media or anything. So to me, while I'm not flapping, although I have been cautious throughout this situation, and I still remain positive. I'm positively cautious. Let's put it that way. It is still, to me, it says they're just putting a little bit of pressure on just to let them know, look, we're not going to be fucked around here, right? Simple as that. Yeah, we want the player. We'd like to do business, but you're not going to mug us off. That's what's happening here, in my opinion. Now, let's take a look at it, right? Is there really signs of club influence? Yeah? Or is this just a journalist doing his job, right? Let me look at some of the key points from the article. It can be disclosed, right? It can be disclosed. That classic Ornstein phrase, he doesn't use it lightly. It usually means he's being told something very deliberately, likely by someone at Liverpool, to control or guide a narrative. And it's interesting, this, because I'm not sure who's told him. Now, if this was Joyce at the Times, I'd be thinking that's Michael Edwards. I'm not sure who this is, because Ornstein is more connected to the powers that be, if you like, FSG, if you like, the big cheese. Whereas, sorry, I don't know if I said that, Ornstein, right? Joyce is more the people that run Liverpool Football Club, right? But they do cross over as well, they know people and that, right? But I've got to be honest with you, I'm not sure who's had a word in his ear. But I do think that the phrase, it can be disclosed, means he's been told something very deliberately, therefore it's to be out there. Now, Slot flying to meet Cherki. The fact that this was shared now, after public news of the second Wirtz bid, could be designed to apply pressure on Leverkusen, right? Signalling that Liverpool have other serious irons in the fire. The club's commitment to Wirtz is still reiterated firmly in the article. First choice, only player bid for. These are things that he wrote in the article. But pairing this with Cherki's name gives Liverpool leverage in the market. Saying the Cherki talks were scheduled before the Wirtz chase accelerated conveniently removes the sense of desperation, but also serves as a warning shot to Leverkusen. We've got other talent lined up. Timing is key. Ornstein says this could be a pivotal week. The implication is that Liverpool want to wrap things up, and if Leverkusen don't move, Liverpool could walk. So therefore, it is pressure, right? It is pressure. I love getting stuck into this stuff, mate. Right, so bullet points, right? Because I work on this shit, right? You know what I mean? I like to make sure I'm getting it right for you. Liverpool's second bid for Florian Wirtz is still on the table, right? With talks ongoing and optimism that a deal can be struck. The offer is said to be worth up to a club record 130 million euros, which is 109 million pounds, including add-ons, and it might yet go higher. Wirtz is Liverpool's first choice. He's a primary target, guys. I love that, primary targets. That's what we like to talk about on here. And he's the only player they've made a formal bid for in his position as things currently stand. Now, despite that, Arne Slot flew from his holiday to meet with Cherki in France, right? The Athletic said this was pre-arranged. This looks like Liverpool performing due diligence on alternatives, but it may also be a calculated leak to put pressure on Leverkusen, and that's what I think it is. The phrase "it can be disclosed" is classic Ornstein speak, for this comes from inside the club. likely used here to show that Liverpool won't win around forever. And I know some of you won't like that. You'll start getting a bit squeaky bum. Manchester City are now focusing on Cherki. We've seen that, which could add urgency for Liverpool if they want to keep all options open. And the message being broadcast is clear. Liverpool want Wirtz badly, but they're not blind to the market and they're not going to be held hostage. And so they fucking shouldn't, right? It's very easy for us as football supporters to just pay what they want, give them what... No, right? These deals are very complex, right? That's why I'm not too concerned. People say, oh, this is taking forever. Listen, guys, this isn't just about going, how much money do you want? There is so many things that need to be factored into this, which is why I'm completely cool about it. I am, however, still cautious about it. I am positive. I'm still retaining positivity. But I do think I'm a bit cautious about it. Now, listen, I know that there's people on YouTube, content creators, Twitter chats, whatever. They're churning out stuff. I could give you different opinions all day fucking long, but I don't want to do that to you. I want to focus on the stuff that I think is relevant. And to be honest with you, from the start, you've got to remember, from the start, when I said, I'm cautious, it don't make sense, guys, I'm a bit suspicious. Do you remember? That was because the football industry, everyone thought it was going to Bayern Munich, right? In Madrid, right, key journalists there, they were even mentioning Wirtz with Real Madrid because they went, well, we all know he's off to fucking, everyone knows he's off to, but why would we get fucking involved? Do you know what I mean? Right? But Liverpool then amplified their interest. So they didn't just declare it to the player, oh, we'll just let you know we'd be interested. Well, every fucker knew about it, right? Amplifying, getting that message out there. And it seems to have done the job. Now, the thing is, Bayer Leverkusen appear, in my opinion, to be trying it on a little bit. I think maybe a little bit too much. And I think Edwards and Co. are maybe a bit like, hang on a fucking minute, you know what I mean? You're not fucking mugging us off. We're willing to give you a good price, right? And at the end of the day, you're not selling to your fucking rivals, right? There's that. But there is something that does bother me a little bit, and I've not really mentioned it to you. In Madrid, the chat is just getting a little bit like, there's been the suggestion, all right? When it started to look like, hey, hang on a fucking minute, maybe he's not going to go to Bayern Munich, right? It then became, if you remember, Xabi Alonso wants to take him to Real Madrid, right? And the right journalist was saying this, not Twitter twats, not some Team Talk equivalent, Team Talko in España, right? But the main people, the journalists you would pay attention to, like we listen to Ornstein and Joyce. And that message was, Alonso wants him. It's been conveyed to the big cheese at Real Madrid. And they've turned around and said, we will do our best to sign him for you. But we need to sell first. Real Madrid do not want to spend that kind of money on a player. So the likes of Rodrigo, for example, available for 100 million, depending on who you believe, right? So if he sold, hey, Alonso, you can have it. We'll pay it, right? Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that kind of thing. So there's that little concern for me. And there was these little whispers. Now, I must stress whispers that people were trying to suggest he's going to dick everyone around. They're going to dick everyone around. They're going to drag it out and go to Real Madrid next year. That was another thing, but I didn't want to really tell you about that because then I'll be getting caps locked to death. People will start telling me about my figure and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that's what Ornstein has to say. I think that we're going through a period now where Liverpool, this is a complex deal. This is not an easy deal to do. But Liverpool have just gone a little bit, you know what? Nah. This just fucking remind you we've got other options. Honestly, guys, I thought if you'd have said to me, who are you going to sign? I'd have thought they'd gone for Cherki. I'd had FSG written all over him. And maybe they still will. Who knows? Who's WhatsApp me? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Right. So, right, I am going to do another video about Florian Wirtz, which is, I don't really want to make loads of videos about it, because then people go, you're just trying to capitalise. Fuck off, right? We're grown-ups around here. But I think the other video could be a little bit long as well. And this is an important one as well. This is something else that I have taken some notes on, and I want to run them by you, because I think you might see this suggestion as well. I'm not sure if I've done a good job. Oh, excuse me. I'm not sure if I've done a good job explaining to you about what I'm trying to say, the message I try and convey. It's harder sometimes. Trust me, sitting here trying to remember everything. I've got my notes, and I've got it all there. But I just, in my opinion, Ornstein is 1,000,000% putting the pressure on Bayer Leverkusen. And that's where Liverpool saying, hey, Dave, do us a favour, mate, get them fuckers. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think, guys. But I'm just, the only thing I'm a little bit, that has happened, right? You won't convince me any differently, right? But I'm not sure who would have whispered that into his ear. That's the bit. I don't know if that's really important to you guys, but to me, I like to try and think, where's that come from? Do you know what I mean? I bet your life that is Liverpool just trying to put a bit of pressure on them, saying we're not going to fucking be dicked around. Some of you have already thrown the towel in. I get it. You know, like, no, it's off now. It's off, right? You know, nah, just chill, man. You know, if it is off, fuck it. So what? Anyway, it's just. But I've been suspicious with it all along. But the right journalists, the ones you should listen to, have been saying, no, it's everything's hunky dory. But there's a little bit of caution there, just a little bit of caution. And it backs up my view. So while with us fans, Liverpool fans, you've got two extremes. You've got one saying, what you're on about, he signed for his age, you've got deals agreed. Do you know what I mean? You've got that, and then you've got the others going, it'll never happen, it's all just a big stunt. You know, well, I'm in the middle, to be honest with you. I think Liverpool have a serious interest in this player. I think they're surprised, and I think the media are surprised that Liverpool have made some progress with it. And I think there's every chance that this deal can and will go ahead. But that's just a little reminder that Liverpool won't be dicked around. I hope I've explained it properly to you. I'm sorry if I haven't. But that's all I can do. Try my best. All right, I'll leave it with you. If you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. Throw in your comments if you want on this video. And I'm going to record another one immediately now to touch on something said by Ben Jacobs, which is... It's important that you watch the video, I think, if you're interested in Florian Wirtz. All right, so if you like the video, thumbs up the video, please drop me a comment. If you want to buy me a coffee, you know the drill. There's a love art under the video. I go to the cafe every morning, review all the papers, right, the Spanish papers, everything. You know, the Chiesa interview in Gazzetta dello Sport today, I can't remember. You know, I pay for these subscriptions, or I'll buy these, you know, for you, all right? And it's you guys that get me a coffee, which is eventually, which is you chucking something in the kitty, enables me to do that, right? So if you love my channel, that's the way of supporting me. But you can support me by leaving me a comment, all right? As long as it's not ridiculous, as long as it's not insulting, you're allowed to comment on it, all right, guys? That's it. What else have I got to tell you? I don't know. I think that's it. All right. There'll be no live stream tomorrow afternoon. I know that much. But there will be a morning briefing tomorrow morning on my other YouTube channel. The link is in the video description. It'll pop up on the screen. And remember, anyone that does support this channel, like do that thingy-majiggy, I always give them a shout out the next morning. Right, okay. Thanks.